Hello, everyone from A Case of Living. So I knew that today I was supposed to do a video for you all on unconditional love, but I also knew that my day was packed. So when I logged on with Dianna, it turned out that the first card she pulled immediately started speaking to me about unconditional love. Then the second card that she pulled, it had to do with why unconditional love and energy go hand in hand, why relationship and energy management are the same thing. And so she was very gracious and allowed me to record our meeting and the conversation that ensued as a part of our meeting. So I do dominate what seems to perhaps be a conversation, but that was by design, because it was actually an opportunity that she gave me to do the video for you all at the same time as I was conducting a meeting session with her as well. So I killed two birds with one stone, as it turned out. So I do hope that you enjoy the content. There's no meditation to go with it. I'm sure, though, if you go to the YouTube page, that you can find meditations that would go along with helping you get into the energy that would help you be in the energy you need to be in for unconditional love, for self-love, to put ourselves in the energy to put out what we want back, which is always where we need to be for everything anyway. But essentially what happens in this video is the first card does bring about the conversation of what is unconditional love? What does that mean? Not just in relationships of like romantic, but certainly in romantic, but unconditional love is the type of relationship we should have with everything. It is the relationship that we exist within, because it is the molecules we are made of. And then therefore it automatically flows into energy, because everything is energy. And the next card sets us up for that perfectly. So it becomes an energy discussion that wraps back around to why that has to do with behavior and love before it's over. So it's a really interesting conversation, and it gets into some numerology. It gets into the colors, which, as you all know, are the light frequencies for healing. So, and it's also the colors that we can keep around us. It's the colors that we can visualize. There's so much we can do with numbers and colors that we don't even really understand sometimes. Yes, it's the things we can visualize for healing, but we can also have them around us. Like green is not just for St. Patrick's Day, which is coming up, but it's also for health, wealth, abundance, prosperity, and longevity, because that's what those things bring us. But just by having it around, we create that frequency. So when we think of those things, red is safety, security, power. It's root chakra. Okay. Browns are the earth tones of the earth star chakra, which is where our Chiron wound healing is at. Silver is, and gold. Silver is what clears the, purifies our past life chakra. So we maintain the knowledge, but we go forward with the energy. We pull the energy forward, pull the energy so we can go forward with it. We don't erase the knowledge, we keep the knowledge, but we pull the energy forward so we don't continue to waste our energy by reliving the past. But we don't rewrite it either. We don't have to keep relearning the lessons, because we keep the lessons, but we don't stay there. We pull the energy forward. Gold is wisdom. So the colors we keep around us matter. They bring in a vibration, they bring in a frequency. So knowing the colors matter. Numerology matters. Numbers that you have around us, they matter. Understanding how numbers affect our lives matter. So we talk a little numerology there. So it's really, it's an interesting conversation. But most of all, it's just to help explain the way we've all been taught to behave, the way society has always behaved from all recorded history, versus how we're intended to behave and be healthy energetically, and therefore physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And therefore, for all of our relationships with self and one another, and everything around us to be healthy. Because we are energy. And for us to be stable, we have to be in the frequency of unconditional love. And that does not mean what so many people would define unconditional love to mean. Unconditional love is a frequency that you get in, and you're in the frequency without anything acting upon you. There are no conditions being exerted upon you. You're in the frequency of your own doing. You hold your frequency. And what you have is attracted to you because it's in the same frequency. There are no conditions, except that each of you are choosing that frequency. Love can't hold like this. It's unconditional. But the only way it can do that is if we're in the stability of that frequency to begin with. And if we're not in that energy, the energy we're created in, then we're below that frequency and we're unstable. And that has been, unfortunately, the energy we have been in most of recorded history, because we didn't know we were energy or what that meant. But we're getting there, folks. So enjoy the video. There is a lot there. And remember, there is no blame here. None of us have known, not really. But we're all energetically awakening to the fact that in the beginning there was energy, neither bad nor good. But look how far we've come. And we're just getting started.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'd been wanting to talk about was what unconditional love really is and how it really works in the practical. And that card is like a beautiful representation of it. Because what I want people to understand is the key, and there's a lock in there, and that's opening up someone's heart. The key is not going in and asking, what do you expect of me? And what role am I to play? The beautiful uncaging of all love, whether it's family dynamics, the work we're going to do, a love relationship, is being allowed to go in and be who you are. And that's unconditional love. And so often we go in and we ask, what do you expect of me? And then we figure out how to behave based upon, we go in and we want to be in a relationship being who we are. But then we get married or whatever, and instead of being who we are, we look at how our sister does her marriage, or our parents did their marriages. And we do marriage based upon roles other people have played. And we didn't like how their marriages were either. We were like, man, when I get married, I'm never doing what they did. I don't want a marriage like that. But then we turn around and that's how we do marriage, because we don't know how to do it. And we don't realize we don't need to know how to do marriage. We're supposed to go in and just be who we are. We're not getting married to play a role. We're supposed to go in and be who we are. Marriage is supposed to be, or the job you're doing, that's the uniqueness you bring. It's not a role. The job you're doing, you got hired to go be you, not to be that new person in that office to do it like the person did before. They'd still be in that office if that's who was supposed to be there. Don't go do what they did. Go be you. And so we play roles. That keyhole is, that's to unlock it for us to go in and be us. So like when somebody asks you, like maybe you're making up with someone, or you're starting a relationship with someone, what do you expect of me? That's a red flag. I expect nothing of you except for you to come and be you. Now, this is what you can expect of me. This is how I'm going to show up. And if I show up that way and that doesn't work for you, what you can expect of me is for me to express, okay, this isn't working for me because this is how I show up, and it's not working for you. So we're not resonant with one another. This job, we're not in alignment with one another. I need to do something else, or we need to discuss how to get in alignment with one another. Or relationship, you're doing marriage the way your parents did. When we met one another, we said that wasn't the kind we wanted. We both expressed, what you can expect of me is I don't want to do marriage like that, but you're doing marriage like that. So we can have those discussions, but if you're going to play those roles, then obviously that's how you want to show up. So you're saying, expect this of me. You're telling me what to expect, because even if you mean it when you say, what do you expect of me? And I tell you, the truth is, however you decide to show up is how you really intend to be. So why even ask me what do I expect you to do? In the end, you're going to do what you're going to do. So that's what unconditional love is. Unconditional love is not to show up with a list of expectations for someone. That's setting conditions on someone. We set conditions on ourselves, and that's not even conditions. What we do is stop setting any conditions. I don't set conditions on me. I don't look at me and look in the mirror and say, okay, I'm going to be just like my mom. That's the role I'm going to play. No. I know some people who say, I watch other people to learn how to do this or to learn how to do that. My whole life I've never done that. And I've been accused of, you're so damn stubborn. You got to do things your way. Yeah. No, that's not it at all. I watch other people to see, man, that's not how I want to do things. That's what I do because I know who I am. And I want to be me. So I watch other people to see, yep, that doesn't fit me. Boy, that doesn't fit me. That's what I watch other people for. It helps me further define who I am. I don't watch other people to mirror them and mimic them. That's what narcissists do. And then they try to be that for a little bit, and they can't do it because it's not who they are. And they're just robbing that energy to mirror it for a little bit. No, we watch other people to see, yeah, that's not my energy. That's not what I do. We watch other people so we further define who we are. We unlock that. We go out in the world. Look how those lines, it's almost like vibrating. Okay, look at those lines. So we're out there, we're vibrating, and then we attract in the energies that are like us. Nobody's playing any roles. You know how much energy it takes to play a role? That's why actors get paid what they do. It's role playing. So that's what unconditional love really is. And I have no idea what that card is going to be about when you read it. But 5, 1 and 4 is 5. Okay, 4 is stability. 1 is all about yourself. So if you are not stable, and playing a role is not stability. And 5 is change. We are constantly in flux because nothing can stand still. So we're constantly changing, but you have to determine your stability during all of that change. Only you can do that. And so no one can ever, you can never go into something and somebody say, this is what I expect of you. When somebody does that, they've got the wrong person. What they have to say is, okay, this is how the situation is. This is how the situation presents itself. And then you decide, do I fit that? Do I resonate with that? Do I vibrate for that? This is who I am. And then you say, this is me. And then somebody either is attracted into that or they're not. And if somebody doesn't understand the concept of that, they don't vibrate with you. If after you've explained that and said, no, this is me, now either you fit with that or you don't, and they're still looking at you and going, so what do you expect of me? They don't resonate with you and they don't get what you're saying. And they're still thinking in 3D concepts. And they're still wanting you to tell them who to be. Mm-hmm. And they're just not ready for you. Because that's, you can never tell someone who to be. And you can never look at other people and say, I'm going to be that. Because if that's what you're doing, you're looking to be somebody else.
Yeah, I agree. And you'll pay for it.
Every time.
In the end, your body will tell you, no, this is not working.
So I know that, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. That because I think we all jump into that in different ways, to different extents. I think throughout our lives, it's common for sure. And I think it's about connecting, wanting the love of others. That's really what it is, looking for the love of others instead of looking for the love of ourselves first. But it's short-lived. I mean, I see the number of people that are unhappy and so incredibly ill. It's short-lived.
I mean, there's all that red. All that red there, of course, is root chakra.
Yeah,
that's our base chakra. Yeah. So there's all the red, that's root chakra. There's pink in there, that's transcendent love. That yellow, that is the strength of the solar plexus, which is also gut wisdom, because there's gold in it. But then see all that white light, and see how that white light is like forming around it? That is source energy, which is, what source energy does. Source energy is the energy that is coming down, that is actually living through us, because that's who we are. We're the ultimate expression. We're the physical expression of source energy, because we're one whole complete light being. So that source energy coming down saying, okay, here I am, I'm opening up, I'm human being right now. I'm source energy being human right now. That's what human beingness is source energy expressing itself in physicality. That's being human. Right. And so that's what's happening. It's opening up, and it's coming out, and it's expressing itself through its strength of doing so, and through wisdom. And I mean, look at the stars and everything. That's the magic. That's the magic. And so that's when we understand that, we understand what being energy means. We understand, wow, we're energy. And if that's not, for those who want to be religious, that's a religious experience. For those who don't want to be, man, is that not some science to dig into there? I mean, there's no matter where you come from, that is just freaking amazing. So that card is just like, when you held that up, I'm like, wow, because I knew I was supposed to do a video on this today, this very topic. Oh. And I just to myself, I'm like, I'm not going to get around to this today. And you held that up, and I'm like, oh, that's it. That's it, because it's there. It's all right there. Yeah. I'm curious what the book says about that, because I have no idea what your book says about that card, but I know what that card said to me.
All right. Well, I'm going to think that you're bang on. At this time, you're being called to assess where guilt is playing a part in your life, to recognize how it's affecting you and others, and address it so you can release yourself from its grip. And guilt, like that, the first thing that says to me, guilt is something that we experience. That guilt keeps us in relationships and keeps us asking, what can I do for you? Who do you want me to be? Guilt is a real.
Well, and how many times? Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
It's just such a real source of loss of power, loss of our own essence, right?
Exactly.
We don't ask ourselves what we need. We'll ask somebody else because, I can't leave them out, or they are going to need something, and rightfully knowing that you're going to feel like shit if you don't do that, right?
How many times do we have our lives going a certain way? Something will go wrong in it, because not everybody is doing what they're supposed to do. It doesn't necessarily mean we did something wrong. Not everybody else is doing their stuff. So then a parent comes in and they give their judgment call on it, because we're not living our life the way they would have. We purposefully didn't do that, because we watched how they lived their life, and we're like, man, I am never doing what my dad did, or I'm never doing what my mom did. And then I'll be damned, they come in and they sit back in judgment on us. Well, son, or daughter, or whoever, the reason you're in that situation is you're a this and you're a that. And if you had done this, and if you were more like da 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 da, and before it's over, we leave there feeling like, man, I'm a failure. Once again, I've not pleased my parents. I'm this, I'm that. And instead of seeing ourselves as, you know what, I've done it differently than they did. It's not that I've done things wrong. It's that other energies, I'm in non-resonant energies. That's why this isn't working. I'm I'm not holding my frequency. Instead, I'm stepping over here and I'm lowering my frequency to try to do things to please these other people. And when I do that, that's where the messes come from. That's why I've got a situation ship, because I'm doing things not in a high vibrational way. I'm not doing things in a 5D way. I'm doing things in a 3D way. I'm compromising who I am. I really want this. Then I'm over here doing it this way because I'm not even with resonant people. And so, and now I'm letting them judge me for it. And I'm feeling bad about me. So then I step in and I start trying to do the role because I'm, well, maybe dad was right. Maybe I was wrong about even how life is supposed to be. So then we stop being who we are even. We shut down who we are and we try to become that. And then we feel bad about ourselves and we spend 10, 15 years trying to be what dad told us to be when we were growing up, saying, I'm never going to be that, because everything in us when we were young and pure and true to ourselves was screaming, that's not who I am and that's not the way to be. And so talk about guilt. We get guilted. And it's because the whole time, every part of us was like, no, this is our frequency. This is our frequency. But we stayed in the wrong relationships. We stayed in the wrong, we should have even moved away from that. We should have been doing something entirely different, but we stayed in the same family dynamic. We stayed with the same old friends. We stayed in the same old community. We never broke away from the non-resonant energies to begin with, out of guilt and out of not knowing that we could, not feeling empowered to do it to begin with. And so, yeah, so just that part alone, when you said that, I'm like, oh, holy smokes, there we go. Okay, what else does it say?
What else does it say? Sorry, I'm making a list too as we're doing that for the rest of our meeting.
Okay, yeah, no, because we got,
as the stuff comes up, yeah.
I know.
Okay. Guilt is a powerful emotional state capable of transforming difficult situations. It keeps you accountable for your actions when you've done something that causes harm. However, it can also feed a self-sabotaging cycle that fosters codependency and a distorted sense of personal power. Self-blame can lead to behaviors that perpetuate low self-worth.
Yeah.
Have you done or said something for which you need to make amends? Have you disregarded a boundary or broken a promise? Guilt can make you aware of potential ways you have given injury and show how to redress the transgression. When you sincerely admit you are wrong and begin the process to fix it, this is an act of accountability, responsibility, and liberation. Take a moment now to consider when you have harmed others or yourself. This knowledge will free you from the story you tell about it, so you are able to connect with truthful remorse. Now is the time for rigorous honesty as you take self-inventory with a neutral state of mind. A good question to ask yourself now is why the guilt is there. You might be taking on a burden that is not even yours to carry. Pay attention, take action, and uncage yourself from the prison of your own making.
Oh, and then, yeah. And you know,
that
is simply looking in the mirror and, okay, I did that. I want somebody to have done that to me. I said that. But I want somebody to said that to me. And if the answer is no, that, oh shit, no, if somebody had said that to me, that would have felt such and such, then you got your answer right there.
Yeah.
That is really not a hard thing to figure out.
That's a real easy test.
Yeah. That's an easy test. That is the test I use for everything, is to go look in the mirror. And because it's easy to tell yourself, well, no, I did that from a pure space. I did that from that. You go look in the mirror and do it. Go look in the freaking mirror and do it and tell yourself that. You know really quickly how that feels when you do that. And then, first of all, you got to forgive yourself for it. That one, before you can have the stability of the 4. I mean, that 1, 4 equals 5. That is a powerful equation, because first you got to do it for yourself. The 1, you got to forgive yourself for having done it, because who knows why you did it? I mean, who knows what was going on? Who knows why you weren't vibrating high at that moment? You got to forgive yourself, or you're not going to fix it. Because what you're going to do instead is stay low vibrational, and you're going to come up with all kinds of excuses why you did it. And you're just going to keep staying low vibrational, and you're going to stay in that cycle of behaving that way. So go look at the freaking mirror and face yourself and forgive yourself, because you know what? Everybody else has done it too.
Mm-hmm.
And if they say they haven't, they're lying, because we've all been low vibrational. That's the energy we're all coming out of. So just get
Yeah.
over it. We're
Yeah.
all that. And we all go back to it sometimes. So face yourself. And then the 4 is become stable. Becoming stable is getting in high vibration. That's all that means. It's stability. So that means get in that energy, put that energy out. That doesn't necessarily have to mean you seek that person out and drag both of you through that energy again, but it does mean show up differently. And that person's going to recognize that. And maybe it is a formal apology, or maybe it's just putting out different energy and that person sees it. Who knows what that means? But that's change. That's 5. 1 plus 4. You facing yourself and forgiving yourself, getting back into frequency, stable. That's change. And most people, in all honesty, that's all they're looking for. Because when you do that, and then you're in different energy, you're going to attract in people who have done the same thing in their lives. And then we all come up to that frequency. We don't have to drag each other through the muckety muck to do this.
Yeah. No muckety muck.
No muckety muck. I love that card. That is great.
Good one, eh? Yeah.
Yeah,
Really
thank you so much for letting me record this, because I knew that I was supposed to do this today. So,
there you
yeah.
go. There you go.
Anything else on unconditional love before we shut it off?
Well, willing release was the next card.
Willing release. Oh, wow. Look. Okay, now that's blue and green. Look at that. That is throat chakra and high heart chakra. And then there again, we have the white, which is pure source energy. And so that is, we have to let pure source energy come down to the heart. Okay. But then it has to come up through the bridge of the high heart chakra, which is that aquamarine color, that kind of turquoise. And then the throat chakra, which is what interprets it and expresses it. So, I mean, we have all the colors there. And then we have a butterfly, which is transformation. And wow, that is, yeah, okay, 4 and 9. 4 is stability. It would be 13, which adds up to 4. So that would be 4, 4. So that would be, and that would be 8, which would be infinity. So, and look, the white there. Oh, wow, that is so cool, because the dandelion, those, because source energy disperses out through us, and those things, they get in the wind and they disperse, because it's like source energy comes down and through us, and it just disseminates back out again, because our lives, the dissemination of our lives is source energy disseminating back out to further expand consciousness through each one of us, through our individuality, which is the creative, unique expression of consciousness again. And so that's the, like in the wind. I mean, it's free. It's freedom. It's valuing the uniqueness. We aren't controlled. For those who feel like we're controlled, no, that's why we're each a unique individual. Is because Source wants that uniqueness through each of us. Yeah, that is beautiful.
It is beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, willing, but so we have to be willing release.
Yeah.
It's a willing release. It's a willing release of source energy through each of us, but we have to be willing to accept that that's who we are. And that's what being human is the human expression of the ultimate, it's the ultimate expression of energy through human beingness.
Nice. Like
yeah.
That.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Do you want to hear it?
Sure.
Okay. Some days you have to let go of your struggle to find an answer and focus on other things for a while. This doesn't mean giving up altogether or losing anything. Remember that in our co-creative partnership with the divine, give and take is necessary. You do your part by setting your intentions and taking any necessary actions, but you must then surrender the form, the timing, and the how to your higher power. Divine plan for each of us. When acting on this faith, you may find that your intense desire for something translates into a feeling of attachment and entitlement. Right now, can you immerse yourself in this experience and allow the divine plan to unfold as it will on your behalf without interference? Can you be open to receiving what is yours, even if it's not packaged in the form you thought you wanted? Perhaps if you look deeper, you will see that you've received the perfect vibrational match to your most authentic wants and needs. You have to put in the work, defined your desires. Oh, excuse me. You have put in the work, defined your desires, and felt them deeply, and engaged your higher power. Now you must let go and see what transpires. This isn't always easy. Impatience erodes the foundation of your trust in the divine. Surrendering truly will serve your highest good. Knowing this truth in your heart, can that really be so difficult?
Because attachment is in the parfait, these other layers deciding, no, this is the way we want it to be because we want our will to come through.
Right.
And that ties source energy, that keeps source energy from having our highest and best good come through, because those other layers or aspects of self use the mind and tell us how it should be. They're like, no, it should be this, it should be that. Well, when we're saying it's got to be this, source energy isn't free, because the reason it's got to be free is because everybody else has got to be going along with it too. Well, if everybody else isn't, then source energy's got to be free to bring in the resonant energies to us. And it's really, yes, we are. This is what I got the other day. Yes, we are conscious energy, but do you know who controls conscious energy? It's not controlled at source's end.
I assume it's us.
It's absolutely us, because we're the ones who have the physicality. Source is the one that can see it all. But humans, the beingness, the sovereignty of self is what actually is controlling everything. That's why we have to surrender to source energy coming down in us. That's why we have to not settle for these lesser timelines, because source energy is kicking and screaming, take the highest timeline. But source energy is conscious and it's trying to get to us, but we're the physical ones actually doing it. That's why it tells us, don't be the human doing, be, just be and let me come down so you be the highest timeline, because we're the physicality. That's where this terminology comes in, that we're actually the gods, because God, we think of God as the one that has the power to make the things happen. Energy can't, even though the energy is what's consciously aware, energy can't do. That's why it had to have physicality. We're the physical expression. We make the stuff happen. So if we don't let the highest timeline come down through us, we're not getting the highest, best good. In the end, our sovereignty of self is choosing the highest timeline. Source energy is not up there with physicality that can make that happen, because source energy, even though it is consciously aware of everything, is governed by the rules of science. It's still attraction. If we're not vibrating at the frequency to attract it in, source energy can't do anything about it. All source can do is say, get in the frequency, get in the frequency, get in the frequency so you can have it. That's all it can do, is tell us to get in the frequency. But if we don't let it align us with the frequency, we control that. We control it all.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Which
we control it all.
It totally makes sense. And when you and I have talked in the past about, spiritual and the practical, it always and still does amaze me that, even if you're not, you're just learning about the spiritual stuff, all this stuff is doable on a practical. It has to be done in a practical way. We have to, we have to make the connection. We have to do the surrendering. We have to, we have to believe. We have to manage our guilt. We have to change our mindsets. All that stuff. We need to do it, so that we are in alignment with ourselves, which then
and become.
This is what I'm seeing. Yeah, just kind of, and then I'm getting all the feels now.
No,
just to go up, to be more, to be higher vibrational, and to have more of the life that we want.
Well, so, and during the certification, you kept talking about the funnel too. You kept talking that's what it is. And the thing of it is, when we learn that that's what being energy means, then being that energy being and doing that successfully, maintaining that integrity of our energetic field, that brings back our physical health, which brings back the longevity of our lives. Now, how much? I don't know. We were designed to live a whole freaking long time. We're not doing it because we haven't understood that we're energy and we've not been taking care of our energetic beingness. Therefore, our physical lifespan dropped. Right. So when we finally get there, we can live, who knows?
Who knows? You gonna meet me at 100 somewhere, or
we have to get, we have to do it first. But yeah, but that's how we get our health. That's how we get our health, wealth, abundance, and prosperity. Therefore, longevity of life back is maintain the integrity of our energetic field. We let the source energy express itself through us through sovereignty of self. That's what all of that means. And it means that little key in there that means be you and hold that frequency. And that's
to hear. Yeah.
And it's here. Yeah.
Love it. Yeah.
Yay. That's it. Yay. So the way this works is when we were in 3D energy, the high heart chakra was deactivated. So the mind, or the ego, the programmable mind, was being used by the higher aspects of ourselves so that the energies they wish to express through us were what were being expressed instead of source energy, instead of us being sovereign over self and the source energy that was coming to our heart space, our heart's desire, the things we knew we wanted to do. We weren't getting that. It was coming through. We knew we wanted to do them. But our mind was saying, don't do what the heart says. Don't follow the heart. That'll get you into trouble. Do what the mind says. That were these aspects of ourselves, keeping us safe. Okay? What we said earlier about anything that tells you it's going to keep you safe. Okay? Now, those were 3D energetic behavioral styles. They kept us in dense energy. Once we activated the high heart chakra, though, when it was deactivated, the heart and the communication center of the throat were not communicating together. The throat is not just where we express ourselves. One, we weren't expressing what the heart was saying. We were expressing what the ego was saying because these didn't have anything blocking them communicating together. Okay? The heart was not attached to the throat. Our expression was not coming from the heart. It was coming from the ego. Mm-hmm. So, and our understanding was coming from the ego to the throat. So, but all the input we were getting from the chakra system, from the points of energetic transference, whether it be from our, from source energy, from each other, from the world around us, all of that comes from the throat chakra. Okay. So all of that coming into us, those of us who come into the world as empaths, that was coming in, our fight, flight, freeze was turned up because it was being expressed to us in 3D energetic behavioral styles, not 5D, because we were all functioning in 3D. We were treating each other in 3D energetic behavioral styles using the ego, not maturely from heart space, not the way source would, not highest and best good, but from what each individual aspect wanted. What do I want? So we're manipulative, all those things, okay? Mm-hmm. So then when we activated the high heart chakra, then we stepped into higher vibrational frequencies. So then the heart, so our energy column opened up, we became more expansive, more source energy started coming down. We started experiencing more drive, more energy, more oomph behind, no, what is source telling me? What is my desire? Who am I? That was bridged then to our communication system, our throat chakra. That's what we started expressing, but we also started understanding it. And as empaths, everything around us started coming in at a higher frequency. And we started understanding things. We were vibrating at a higher frequency. We started putting out a higher frequency. We started bringing in higher frequencies, treating each other differently, treating ourselves differently. So we've moved into 5D behavioral styles. We can't be in 3D energy. We pull ourselves out of frequency. So we have to keep the high heart chakra activated and behave in the higher vibrational frequencies. But when we do that, then the heart, the source is giving us, is now coming up through this bridge, through the throat chakra. And this is what's being communicated and expressed, is the heart energy, source energy, instead of these aspects. So instead of the mind overriding the heart, or the aspects overriding source energy is now transcending these aspects, or the heart is transcending the mind. So it all had to do with turning on the high heart chakra, so we could come from 3D energetic behavioral styles to 5D, 3D to 5D. We had to transcend the mind running things to the heart running things, the aspects of ourselves to source. Our emotional beingness, which is conscious energy, source coming down, being human, instead of the aspects of us that are lower vibrational. Our higher vibrational self coming down and experiencing humanity in 5D instead of the aspects experiencing humanity in 3D. And that's what the high heart chakra does. And that's what we've been doing. That's the change. That's the difference. Yeah.
Right.
Cool beans. And it all came from just that's the Tarzan thing. From tapping on the thymus, the circle around it, tapping on these two, the bones right here, these bony prominences.
Yeah.
These bony prominences, and then that activates the scapula chakras, which are literally, it's like what pulls you back, like your angel wings are popping out. And so yeah, that activates all those. That's the safety, strength, and power chakras opening up. Because what did the mind tell us it was doing? What did those aspects tell us they were doing in 3D? Where your safety, where your strength, where your power. Don't do that. You don't know what you're doing. Let us take care of you. No, sovereignty of self is. So energy, conscious energy can't act. It's conscious. It knows more than any of us, but it can't do anything. It's just energy. Mm-hmm. It has to have tactility to express itself. The lower aspects of it, using us to express, is expressing lower timelines. So we have to take sovereignty of that. So the highest form of it can be what's expressing itself through us. So we get the highest expression of conscious energy. Right. And so we have to transcend those to do that. So we determine. So we don't want those aspects telling us, we'll keep you safe. You don't want to empower yourself from emotion. You don't want to determine your own security. No, those are the lies it tells us to make us afraid and to keep us in 3D. Mm-hmm. And source energy is, no, you want to do it because that's how you attract in the highest vibrational stuff. But these aspects can't control us if we're doing that.
Right.
They don't want us attracting in what is our highest, best good. They want to control what we're attracting in. That's 3D behavior versus 5D. 5D is all about simply be in frequency and attract what's best for you, which is how the law of energy works, which is all conscious energy can do. Conscious energy, all it can do is be in the highest frequency and attract in the best. That's all it can do. That's why it simply wants to come down and be the highest it can be and attract in the best it can have. Mm-hmm. But these aspects, they're not the highest they can be. That's why they're in 3D to begin with, trying to control everything. They can't attract in the best and highest. They're not the highest. So they're constantly trying to manipulate things to get what they want.
Right. And you know what? That mirrors the practical experience of a woman with no voice, right?
Absolutely.
You're not paying attention to you. You're paying attention to what's happening around you, making things okay for other people, fixing things, helping, solving, supporting, all that stuff, without any regard for yourself and your own connection and your own needs first, right? So yeah.
And how many people, yeah, and how many people are kept without a voice for that very reason, so that other people can get their way.
Yeah, it really is a mirror of that, isn't it? Exactly.
Yeah, it's exactly that.
Yeah.
And
all
told
the times that we've talked about this, and I've never come to that before, but there it is.
and told this is for your own good. I know better than you do. This is for your own good. And how many people are never happy? You know, even if to them it looks that way, you're not happy. And you're not happy because it's not your heart's fulfillment. Who are they to tell you? It may be in the natural that that's what it looks like to the world, but that doesn't matter, because your heart's fulfillment is your life's best and highest good. It doesn't matter if it looks like to the world you should be doing that as societal expectation. It doesn't matter what the world thinks I should do. If my heart feels bad doing it, it's not my best and highest good. So it doesn't matter. It may be the smarter thing to do by societal standards, but if it feels bad, it's not. So that argument, but that's the argument that the mind makes. It's a 3D argument. And our parents will use it on us, the churches will use it on us, the governments will use it on us, our best friends will use it on us, we use it on ourselves, and there's no blaming here. There's no, because we've all been taught to be in those energies.
Good.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you. That was fun. Yeah.
It was, yeah. It's been a while. Yeah.